So one frequent question that I get a lot from people who are interested in going to a grad program, um, is that whether or not going to get a master's, for example, is going to help them achieve, for example, become a C-suite executive in the end. So in my case, I often get a lot of either cold call emails because I'm on the faculty page, or that um, I know of friends who are interested in the same field as I am, and they want to see what my perspectives are in the program that I currently teach in, and also the program that I graduated out of. And the question that I always ask is, I want to become a manager or a VP or even a chief at the end, in a couple of years' time. Will doing this degree help me get that goal? And the issue that I have with this question in general is, as much as sometimes education is a criteria for job postings, it is not often the end all be all criteria, because oftentimes for the more competitive, and especially when you go up the higher of the corporate ladder, people most often already have similar educational backgrounds. You're not going to be the only applicant with a master's. You're not going to be the only applicant, with technology skills or clinical skills or business skills, whatever it may be in the field that you're in. So, having a graduate degree, sometimes in the more competitive spots, and especially depending on your field, it may already be the bar minimum. So, you know, if you think that going into a master's degree, for example, is going to help you become a CEO in the end, then I think this is a very incorrect perspective to look at grad studies from. Because the thing is, like I said, oftentimes, especially for those competitive positions, and especially when you go up higher the corporate ladder, a lot of these people are already well educated. A lot of these people will have already, have done their undergrad and graduate degrees at very prestigious universities and colleges. So education is no longer the criteria that the recruiters are going to be looking for. What they're going to assess you on is really your interpersonal skills. Are you a leader? Are you not a leader? Have you shown success in your previous projects? How large are your projects? Are there small projects? Are they internal projects? Are they large scale? Did you implement? Were there any failures? What do people think of you? So like there's a lot of different factors when it comes to being promoted, and it doesn't start and end with attaining a higher education. And looking from my other hat, where I work in a corporate environment, people aren't going to get promotions because they additionally did a certificate or did an additional degree. But what often happens is, and I think this is where the line gets blurry for a lot of people, is from the outside, they see that someone did a program, or they see that someone did a certificate and then they got promoted after. So they kind of make that connection, thinking that once you do further education, you'll get promoted. But that's not the case. What really happens here is these individuals are probably either sent, or they either decided to pursue additional skills via the format of a structured classroom, whether it be a degree or a certificate, or writing an exam on the side, for example. And once they receive that designation, they can go back to their boss and say, hey, I did this already. I have attained the certificate or degree, whatever it may be. And these are the skills I've learned. And now I want a position that allows me to utilize those skills further. That's often what happens if you ever look at two colleagues in terms of they did further education and then they, quote unquote, they get a promotion. That's generally what happens. It's not because of the paper that they got, it's because of the skills that they've attained. So when it comes to picking a grad program, if you're going to the mindset that after you finish your degree, you're going to become a VP or a chief afterwards, then a lot of you will be disappointed. But if you look at grad studies as a way to, first and foremost, to expand your existing skills, whether it be to pick up new skills or to hone and upgrade your existing skills, that's the first thing you should focus on. And the second thing that you need to focus on is grad school is really about networking opportunities. It's really about a very niche area where a lot of scholars and leaders in that particular sector come together, and take that as an opportunity to expand your own network. Because when it comes to the corporate world, the larger of the network you have, the easier things are going to be in for you in terms of, going up the ladder, and also, getting new jobs and switching jobs. So look at it from these two perspectives, one, attaining and upgrading your skills, and two, expanding your networks, and not so much on focusing on the fact that you want a promotion automatically because attain further education. If you're looking from this perspective, then the reality is you're going to be very much disappointed, because oftentimes managers will never promote someone just because they got a better degree. But if you sell it, and if you market yourself on the fact that you've attained more skills, and you can show that you are able to use those skills, then that would more likely be in your favor.